this.
So I've been on a quest. A quest to make Lightsworn more consistent and trying out different things and all sorts of different cards. And I went from trying like a Chaos Dragon to like just a Chaos Sworn to where I finally have been doing a more just pure Lightsworn build and using Honest, and that seems to be helping more, along with some other cards I've been testing and playing. But I needed something. I've been running into a problem where sometimes JD be my only like main boss monster, along with some of the other combos you can do in Lightsworn, isn't. You just can't. That's just not the best thing to play in Yu-Gi-Oh! And since I was playing more all pure Lightsworn, I mean like original Lightsworn, I'm not even playing like the dark versions of any of them. I'm just playing pure all Lightsworn monsters. And I came to a card that from way back, I think it even came out in Galactic Overlord, Galactic something. I think that was the booster box. And it's the Lightray monsters. And then specifically, Lightray Daedalus, Sea Serpent. So I'll tell you what it is. If you don't know this card, it's a level 7 light monster, Sea Serpent, named Lightray Daedalus, and its effect is, cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned from your hand by having 4 or more light monsters in your graveyard, and cannot be special summoned by other ways. Once per turn, you can target one field spell card on the field, and then 2 other cards, and destroy them. So would this be better if you could just target 2 cards and destroy it? Yes. But there's been a lot of decks that play field spells, and decks that counteract Lightsworn pretty well, like Gravekeepers, can kind of counteract this deck. And a big problem I've had with a lot of the decks I'm playing against is, for some reason, zombies are giving me a huge problem. And I started playing Lightray Daedalus sometimes just as a side deck when I play match in Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro, but then I started maining it. I mained 3 of them, and sometimes it can get a little cloggy, but not too much, because you have a lot of mill, and it's not that it needs, like JD, where you need like 4 different Lightsworn. You just need 4 light monsters in your graveyard. And to get 4 light monsters in your graveyard is not a big problem in a pure Lightsworn deck, because I have a lot of mill cards, I play card destruction, I play reasoning, and I have some other cards in there too that help me mill out. And also, I've told you I've been trying out cards that will let me put cards back in the deck, along with like Pot of Avarice. I've been trying Drawer of Avarice. Right now I'm playing a build where I play like 3 Pot of Dichotomy along with Pot of Avarice. It's just testing, and it kind of blows. Pot of Dichotomy is not a great card because you can't conduct your battle phase. But anyways, getting Lightray Daedalus back in my hand, not a huge issue. But its effect has actually become kind of useful. It's not something that you can use in all areas, and that's why I said it could be like a side deck card in your Lightsworn. But for a deck that goes against field spells and getting monsters into your graveyard isn't always the biggest problem, milling wise, it's been good. I haven't used it a ton, but I feel like it's worth talking about. Any deck that utilizes light, I feel like you could even play one of these, because it's just a nice little boss monster. Now it's not huge damage; it's 2,600, and it's a level 7, which is kind of an odd number sometimes to make it exceed depending on the deck you play. Now Lightsworn, it works out pretty well. Even pure Lightsworn is because I can make a Michael. He's level 7, use his effect, and maybe I don't want to mill any more monsters, or I don't know what the scenario it could be. But I could also then Lightray Daedalus use its effect, if possible, and then I can go into like a Draco Sack or like a Big Eye or something if I wanted to. I'm just saying that the options are there to make rank 7s in a pure Lightsworn deck. While it's not often, you can make Michael and Lightsworns pretty darn easily. If you have a Lumina, you're pretty much set to make one. So it's not that hard. I have made level 7s before. I only have Big Eye in my extra deck, but I mean, you could do Drago Sack if you wanted, or there's maybe a better level 7 than I just haven't really looked into, because it's not like the main play of the deck. But it's an interesting effect, and like I said, for any deck that utilizes light monsters, I feel like it's good, because having 4 light monsters in your graveyard isn't that hard for any deck that utilizes light monsters, even fairies. It's not that difficult to get that many in there. But with Lightsworn, it's working pretty well, at least for something aside, and I haven't heard anybody talk about these cards or see anybody play it. I have to have people read its effects. It's pretty interesting that they didn't even know what it did or even seen that card, and I completely forgot about them. I remembered them because I was going through my old Lightsworn deck that is way out of date now in my cards, and on the side of my deck I had like 20-something cards that I would sometimes swap in and out, and I had all the Lightray cards in there, 3 of each. And while the other Lightray monsters, I'm not going to go into them. If you want to look them up to see what you think of their effects, I don't think they're that great. But in the format that we're going with right now, Lightray Daedalus has not amazing, but a decent effect that could be playable in some decks especially a pure Lightsworn build that's all light monsters. I don't think it works as well in any KS variants, even though you could still definitely pull off the card, or even the versions that utilize the dark the dark versions of the Lightsworn, just like a pure all light Lightsworn. It isn't that bad. But let me know what you guys think down below, what you think about the card, if you think it's playable. I think it's useful for its effect in Lightsworn right now because it's it can get rid of some problems with field spells, and a lot of decks have field spells anymore, and that's what I think is making the card more useful. Yeah, destroying monsters destroying anything isn't that great anymore, but you can just target 2 any other cards on the field and destroy them. And targeting even some back row that might be useful, or any other card that's on the field, even if you're getting rid of it for that turn, even if it might be able to come back later, at least it can help you get around some issues sometimes. So, like I said, let me know down below. I'll see you later. Peace.
Damn. Yeah.